Alright, time for the solutions for the Mastery Quiz 5 review. So when you get to these ones, it tells you what a function is, and then these ones, it tells you to evaluate. So you need whatever's in the parentheses, and you put it in for all the x's of your function, whichever one it is, and then compute. So this is what we're going to do. If you want to get f of 3, you have to take x and put in 3. And when you do that, make sure you put things in parentheses. Order of operations is important right here. You have to do the 3 squared first and then make it negative. If this had parentheses around it, then you'd make 3 negative first and then square it. Anyway, when you do that, you're going to get negative 9 plus 3 plus 5, which is going to give you negative 1. And on the next one, this is h of 2. You plug in 2 for your x's. So I'm going to have 2 minus 4 inside the parentheses there. I'm going to do the 2 minus 4 part first. So I'm going to get 9 minus 3 times negative 2, which is going to be the same thing as 9 plus 6, which is 15. And moving on to the next part, and take 3a and put it in for the x's. So if you want a f of 3a, you're going to take 3a and put it in where the x's are. So negative 3a squared plus 3a, and then subtract 4 on the end. This part, when you square that, you're going to get 9a squared. And the 3a and subtract 4, those don't combine, so that's really just your answer right there. And then on 4, if you want to get h of negative 2c, you take this x and put negative 2c there. So it's going to give you, in the parentheses, negative 2c minus 4. Distribute that 3 through, and that'll give you 9 plus 6c plus 12. Combine like terms, which will give you 6c plus 21. So there's answers for those. Moving on to the next part is, again, just taking that number and taking whatever's in the parentheses, putting it in for x. So if you want to get g of negative 2, we have to put in negative 2 in for that x. And then simplify things down. Negative of negative 2 is positive 2. Add the 2 part, gives you 4. So we really have 2 to the 4th minus 3. Well, 2 to the 4th is 16. If you minus the 3, you get 13. And moving on to the next part, we're going to take negative 1, put it in for our x's, all 3 of them. There's another one there. And so if you want to get s of negative 1, you're going to do 2 times negative 1 to the 3rd power plus 8 times negative 1 squared plus negative 1 there. And to get rid of all those parentheses, you need to cube this one, square the other one, and so it's going to give you 2 times negative 1, because negative 1 to the 3rd power is negative 1. Make sure you put parentheses around it. And the next part is going to be 8 times positive 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And the next part is just negative 1 or subtract 1. And when you simplify that down, you get negative 2 plus 8 minus 1, which is 5. And moving on to the next part, we need to plug in 4b. So if you want to get g of 4b, you're going to take this stuff, negative, put the 4b there, and minus 3, plus 2 up top, and then minus 3 here on the outside. And if you want to simplify that, you can, but that is actually simple to get. The only thing that changes, you could get rid of the parentheses and just have negative 4b plus 2. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just have it be negative 4b plus 2. And that's as simple as it gets, because those don't combine, so you can't get the exponent, which means you can't subtract from it. And that one's good to go. And then the bottom one, 8, you need to plug in 7 minus d. So if you want to do u of 7 minus d, you're going to do 2 times 7 minus d, and then minus 8. And then you got to distribute the 2 through, which will give you 14 minus 2d minus 8 combine our like terms to give us 6 minus 2d. And that one's good to go. Moving on to the next section, all our answers that we're getting for these are going to be used on the next ones because the function operations are the same. It's just on the right side, you're plugging a number, and these left ones, you're not. You're just keeping the x. So if we want to do f plus h, you write down what f is, you write down what h is, and put a plus between them. Make sure you put things down in parentheses. In this case, the parentheses don't do anything because if you distribute, it's just the same thing. So you get 9 minus 3x plus 2x, which is going to give you 9 minus x. So that one's going to go. Now the next one you have to do g minus w. So you write down what g is, which is x plus 4. And then minus w, which is negative x. Negative times negative is going to give you positive. So we're looking at x plus 4 plus x, which is 2x plus 4. And the next one says f times w, so write down what f is, which is 9 minus 3x. Write down what w is, which is negative x, and we need to times these, so we need to distribute that negative x through to get negative 9x plus, remember negative times negative is positive, 3x squared. And on the next one, we need to do g divided by w, so write down what g is on top, which is x, x plus 4. And then on the bottom, write down what w is, which is negative x. And we could put parentheses around that whole thing, but it doesn't change a thing. So really, that's going to be our answer. And that's as simple as it gets. No, those x's do not cancel out right there. That's just going to be our answer. And the next part, we need to do negative 2 times what f is, which is 9 minus 3x. And we need to do subtract 3 times what g is, which is x plus 4. So that's what we're looking at there. And you can distribute the 2 if you want to, or you can work just from the inside out and at the end times by the negative 2, which is a route I like to take because I want to distribute that through, which is going to give me, and I'll distribute this 1 through, and that's going to give me inside 9 minus 3x minus 3x minus 12. So the inside, when you combine like terms, is going to give you negative 6x minus 3, and you have to distribute the negative 2 through to get positive 12x plus 6. And that's going to be your final answer for 13, which you're going to use all those on the next section there. So here's the right side. So each of these is the left column, but what you need to do is plug in numbers. So this is like the evaluating part right above it. So you're going to take 5 and put it in for the x there. So you can get just 9 minus 5, which is 4. And on the next one, you need to take negative 2 and plug it in. So you need to do 2 times negative 2 plus 4. Well, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 4 gives you 0. And the next part, we need to plug in 3. So negative 9 times 3 plus 3 times 3 squared. Well, negative 9 times 3 is negative 27. 3 squared is 9. Times the 3 is going to give me positive 27. And if you add that up, you're going to get 0. And then the next one, you plug in 2. So you do 2 plus 4 over negative 2. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6. Negative 2 is still on bottom, which is going to give you negative 3. And then the next part, you need to take that 1 and put it in for the x. So you just got 12 times 1 plus 6. Well, 12 times 1 is 12. Add 6 is going to give you 18. So is that? And we're going to do the back side on the next video.